history in Sunrise.
I haven't been in the gym in a long time. So there was a slight moment when I'm hanging on and going, am I going to be able to get this thing over my shoulders, right?
The Florida Panthers bring home their first Stanley Cup ever following an action-packed Game 7. Catching the action on the ice.
I don't know if you noticed the sound on the ice. Just the sound of everyone yelling out. It was like unreal. And they just did it. It's like a fairy tale.
The Iceplex offers Panthers fans a chance to ice skate while watching their team win it all. Gone but never forgotten.
You know, we don't even know if they're okay. Some of them are okay. We don't know if the rest are okay. We really it's just, it's very shocking. We're shook. We're pretty shook.
As the 98 lives lost during the Surfside condo collapse are honored on its 3-year anniversary. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Emma Alonso.
And I'm Benjamin Kior. Today is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
History made. Our very own Florida Panthers are now Stanley Cup champions for the first time. The Florida Panthers Revenge Tour is complete this morning as the team hoisted up the franchise's first ever Stanley Cup trophy at home last night. And much like the series, though, the game went down to the wire.
Carter Verhaeghe brushed off his dry slump in a big way by tipping in an Evan Rodriguez pass into the goal to get the crowd rolling. The Cats would not remain in control for long, though, as the Oilers managed to get another breakaway for a quick goal. Both teams would exchange major shots, but the Panthers' defense would not let up, as seen by Dmitry Kulikov's diving save into the net on what looked to be an Oilers goal that led to Sam Reinhart scoring the game-clinching, series-clinching, and Stanley Cup-clinching goal. The final score was Oilers 1, Panthers 2. This is head coach Paul Maurice's first Stanley Cup in 35 years of coaching, and he was taking it all in last night.
I haven't been in the gym in a long time. So there was a slight moment when I'm hanging on and going, am I going to be able to get this thing over my shoulders, right? Because they're all beat up. Anyway, it was heavier than I thought.
Though Connor McDavid became the 6th player ever to be presented with the Conn Smythe Award, nothing could ruin the moment of a roster that worked all year to get back to the Cup and win it.
Across the way from the Amerant Bank Arena is the new Baptist Health Iceplex, where fans join the Cats on the rink in spirit for Game 7. Caplin News reporter Kenneth Bueno laced up the skates and has more on all the emotion.
An all-or-nothing mentality has taken the Florida Panthers to their 3rd ever Stanley Cup final, and that mentality ravages through places like here, the Iceplex at Sunrise, as fans watch a deciding Game 7.
I now know why none of the players are on social media all the time, because the anxiety that I had going into tonight, I can't even imagine what they would have been through.
60 minutes of nerves.
With the 3-1, 3-2, I started getting a little nervous, seeing that happening. I was like, wait, the Oilers might have, locked in their game a bit.
But at the final buzzer, memories that will last a lifetime for couples like Andrea and Joran after the Panthers lifted the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history.
I don't know if you noticed the sound on the ice. Just the sound of everyone yelling out. It was like unreal. And they just did it. It's like a fairy tale.
And for those who aren't able to attend the game due to high ticket prices, they flocked to the team's practice facility to bring on their cardiac cap pride. And while some like to prefer viewing this game from outside of the rink, fans here at the Iceplex are immersing themselves in this Game 7 to watch on the ice.
I've been a fan for so long that it's another day and it's another game, and this one just happens to be a really good one.
And perhaps a game that the South Florida fans will cherish forever. In Sunrise, Kenneth Bueno, Caplin News.
A deal in place this morning to avoid any further jail time for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. After being released from a UK prison yesterday, Assange returns to his home country in Australia. In the deal with the US Justice Department, Assange will plead guilty to his role in one of the history's largest breaches of classified materials. The 5 years he has already spent in prison in the UK will also count as his 62-month US prison sentence.
There's vicious weather across over 1,000 miles of the United States this morning, with heat alerts spreading from South Dakota down to Florida's Panhandle. And some states in this grid, specifically those in the northern plains and upper Midwest, are also dealing with heavy rainfall. In Iowa, Governor Kim Reynolds asked President Joe Biden for an expedited major disaster declaration after, quote, catastrophic flooding forced some communities to evacuate.
There's no new building yet, and this morning at the site of the collapsed condo towner in Surfside. Yesterday, families of the 98 victims gathered to remember their loved ones. Caplin News reporter Christina J. Harris takes a look back.
Yesterday marked 3 years since the Champlain Tower South building collapsed in Surfside, killing nearly 98 people in the middle of the night. Officials say it took them nearly months to completely sift through what was left behind of this horrible massacre. People all over South Florida stood in shock watching the details of that day unfold.
You know, we don't even know if they're okay. Some of them are okay. We don't know if the rest are okay. We really, like, it's just, you know, it's very shocking. Like, we're shook. We're pretty shook.
Yesterday morning, a 3-year remembrance ceremony was hosted right next to the site to honor those 98 victims who lost their lives to this horrible tragedy. Many family members of the victims were present, as well as Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava and Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett. The area where the building stood still remains empty and untouched since the incident. Although the land has now been contracted, many family members of the victims are hoping that a permanent memorial can be created to forever honor their loved ones. For now, reporting from Miami, Christina J. Harris, Caplin News.
It has been a tragic week in Panama City Beach as the community has come together multiple times to mourn the loss of their own following 6 drowning deaths in just 7 days. Panama Beach officials say that lifeguards are trying their best to warn beachgoers of the dangerous rip currents in the Gulf of Mexico, but are quite frankly too understaffed to do anything about it.
The amount of people that we have and a large beach that we do cover, we just can't have a lifeguard at every few feet. It's just not possible.
As of now, the city has 16 lifeguards, 9 of whom are permanent and 7 seasonal, to patrol nearly 10 miles of beach. Panama City Beach Mayor Stuart Tetner said that it absolutely needs more lifeguards on hand.
NASA is being sued this morning by a family in Naples over damages that fallen space junk caused when it crashed into their house. NASA already confirmed that the metal object hardware from the International Space Station, and the family is seeking $80,000 in the lawsuit, also citing emotional and mental distress.
Life imitating art this morning as a well-known scene from the Netflix series Emily in Paris plays out in Miami's Wynwood neighborhood. Caplin News reporter David Lascano pops into the museum bubble.
From Madrid to New York and now Miami, the Balloon Museum is offering an experience that you can't miss. It will be available to the public from June 22nd to October 6th, and we are going to give you a sneak peek of what's happening behind those doors. With Air as its premise, the Balloon Museum is bringing the project Let's Fly to Miami in Mana Wynwood, with many international artists getting together to deliver an inflatable experience that is sure to separate your mind from reality.
An interactive museum where people can play, not like a normal museum, but a museum where each one can become part of the installation, and a museum where each one can become again a child.
While exploring the museum, we found an exhibition referencing one of the most iconic locations
from the popular Netflix original
in Paris.
It was not expected, visually stunning. I stayed for much longer than I probably should have, and honestly the end, like it's those exhibits that you have to be honest, even if they're cliche, basic, everyone else likes them, if they evoke enough of a response for you to disconnect, then that's the exhibit.
The event successfully brought people together in one shared feeling that made us float away from reality and awake a childlike wonder. Among all the guests and artists roaming the event, we had the opportunity to talk to Miss Universe Region Andina, who told us about her experience at the museum.
La que más me gustó. My favorite was the balloon pool. I liked the color, the music, the vibes. You feel inside it's something that you need to come to experience because it's unique and unforgettable.
No doubt that this has been a surreal experience, and everyone is all for it that should come down to the heart of Wynwood, Miami, to try it. Reporting for Caplin News, this is David Lascano.
After winning 4 of their last 5 home games, the Marlins head out on a road trip.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We work hard by walking because we want anybody to know heat come from.
Severe weather can strike anytime,
The final steps in a long walk that started in the Florida Keys. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, ZWX. You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
A monk march which started in the Florida Keys comes to an end. A journey up the Atlantic coast on foot as a group of monks walked all the way from Key West to New York.
And their goal with this 3-month trip was to promote peace. And the monks carried nothing but their robes and sandals and were met every few hundred yards with people who wanted to meet them, bring them water, and give them food and shelter. All said that they were in all of their dedication to their cause. Their leader, Tan Sunan, said that their goal was to help people recognize their internal peace.
We work hard by walking because we want anybody to know heat come from inside.
The monks completed their trip yesterday at the edge of Niagara Falls.
While the Cats cooked up a championship win, the Miami Marlins struggled last night in Kansas City. Even in the summer heat, the Marlins bats were really cold, managing just 4 hits all game. Brian De La Cruz had only 1 RBI with a double in the third, and Miami's Roderi Munoz gave up 4 runs, including 3 solo home runs, and the Marlins dropped a 6-14 record in June. Final score, Royals 4, Marlins 1. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I
I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other,
On a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Benjamin Cure.
And I'm Emma Alonso. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.